Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll get to the JRC in a moment. First, the disclaimers. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shock campaign, pertinent links can be found right there in the description box. Should you like to go ahead and deep dive, you should be able to go ahead and do so. Trigger warning, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. I do use profanity, and when we talk about places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of, catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. So if you have children that watch the channel that are 16 and younger, parental supervision is very much advised. Alright, now Justin says, I would like the IACC to prioritize research on the following. Number 1, autism and type 2 diabetes and challenges faced by people with autism and type 2 diabetes. There's a few physical things such of that nature, remembering to take shots that involve a little bit more to their medicine, or individuals who need to carry epi shots on them that might not think about it, so that's definitely a good thing to see. Insomnia and sleep disorders in autism and how sleep disorders impact people with autism. I would definitely like to see that. I have had sleeping issues for years, and I do mean years, to the point that I have a whole routine I go through every single night with like valerian root, melatonin, and yeah, just to be able to sleep. And sometimes that doesn't even work, so all I get is really cloudy, severely foggy autistic fog brain, where everything no longer just tastes like cotton fibers. It's like a whole ass cotton bag in my mouth. I don't know. You get where I'm going. 3. Autism incarceration. Specifically, how common is it for people with autism to be incarcerated, and challenges people with autism face while incarcerated? But fight or flight, for one thing. Your approach. I harped on the state troopers about this too. How you approach us from the very get-go is going to determine how the encounter goes. Let me say that. How you approach us, the way you present yourself, is going to have the control over how that encounter is going, how that's going to go. Because a lot of us have been massively bullied, whether by our peers, or caretakers, service providers, you name it. And any encounter, like if you approach like, hey, big tough guy, you're in real trouble, you're going to kick in the flight or fight response. And things go downhill. Yet, to approach gently, but in a way that's not also infantilizing, is usually the best way to handle it. Like, hey, we were called, this was what's going on, so what's happening here? That sort of thing, right? Autism and activities of daily living, and how autism impacts activities of daily living. In particular, there are some of us that it impacts daily living a lot more than others, whereas for me, what impacts your ability of functionality? Routine is the biggest one for me. Biggest one for me. One thing that is not routine will crash the entire day, and there's no recovery. I already know. I'm 41 years old now. I know once the fog hits, I am just not going to be any good in the functionality department for a good 24 hours. So, yeah, I would like to see that as well. Alright, now let's see what Eleanor says. My name is Eleanor Wildflower. I would like to recommend that the IACC request government funding to research sleep and stomach problems in autistic people in order to help autistic people sleep better and have healthier stomachs. I think a lot of it that impacts our stomach issues is anxiety. One of the things I really believe impacts my acid reflux to the point that it is literally melting my teeth down, which is why you see what's going on with my front teeth there. It has a lot to do with anxiety. And the worse my anxiety, the worse my stomach acid becomes, the more difficult it is to be able to eat anything that could cause it to flare up. Because when it does, it tastes like somebody just took a flaming torch and shoved it down my gullet and all the way into my stomach and set my innards on fire. Tiffany, that was oddly descriptive. Well, that's what it feels like. I've had to contemplate it over the last 41 years. But I would like to see more studies in regards to how anxiety can affect things like acid reflux, like acute gastritis, ulcers, how stress and anxiety has such contributing factors. Because being neurodivergent in a world that's neurotypical is going to cause an abnormal amount of anxiety and stress. An exhausting mental power that one has to use to make sure that we're giving the normies what we want and how we present ourselves also has its own anxiety too. So I do see that stomach issues that I have get worse when the anxiety disorder has just taken control for the day. This is important because sleep and stomach disorders are very common in autistic people and we don't know why or how to help. I'm explaining to you why. It's the anxiety. The IAAC should also request funding to research ways that autistic people can use augmentative and alternative communication in order to help people easily and effectively communicate. Now, a lot of folks already do this. It's mainly through the providers like ARC, where people are able to get a hold of assistive communication devices. You can also call and check in directly with Medicaid as well if you want some pointers on where possibly you could get some help, where Medicaid can help cover at least a partial amount of the cost for the device. You might want to take a look in both of those areas, because even if they don't necessarily have the resources themselves, they can usually point you in a good general direction. This is important because many autistic people have trouble communicating. I'd like to say a lot of neurotypical people have trouble with being willing to communicate on our level, but then they'll call me, "You're an autie supremacist." No, I'm a logic supremacist. And I'm a vanishing kind. Send help. The IAAC should also research ways to make employment and community living easier for autistic people to access. I agree, because Medicaid being the gatekeeper for so long is how so many are falling through the cracks. This is important because many autistic people are unemployed and or live in an institution but want to be employed and or live in the community. And there's more than one option of living in the community, parents. Do not start. I am an autistic person. Some of my friends and family members are also autistic. This kind of research could solve sleep and stomach issues in my community and I have. Can make it easier for us to be financially independent adults. That is why these issues matter to me. Again, look into what you can do to help minimize anxiety. And although it's not going to solve the stomach issue entirely, it will at least calm it down to where it is not constantly upset due to that anxiety and causing all that churning. The IAAC should listen to autistic people like me, including non-male autistic people of color. Don't get me started, for the love of God. The way they treat autistic people of color, the way they pretend like the lack of access doesn't exist when it very glaringly obviously does. And the double standard, oh my God. Yeah. I'm doing this kind of research because this research affects us more than anyone else. Nothing about us without us. We don't want to be cured. We just want to live long, happy lives and make choices about our own lives. Very true, but I will say, I do not want to be neurotypical. I am an observer. I've seen some of those folks in their natural habitats, and no, even with my issues, I'll still take it over. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there because that's why people call me what they call me. Anyways, we don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. Make sure you're set up for notifications so you don't miss anything from Down the Rabbit Hole or the Snake Oil Salesman series. I do appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everyone.